you think that this story, I mean, it's a complete story. That's the part that I really like. It's a
well, that's
story.
what it is with UFOs. There's so many things that are so incomplete. There's not enough. This is one that's pretty. You could research this for another couple of years, really, but it's pretty well. The story is pretty well complete as far as what happened with the people. Now, there may have been an attempted intercept. It may have been picked up on other radars.
Okay.
And that we don't know that yet.
We don't know that. Okay.
And we probably never will, because one of the guys that probably picked it up with the radar, he's paranoid about talking to people.
Now, what Kevin Randall, it says the article was taken from Scientific Ufology, written by Captain Kevin D. Randall, U.S. Air Force Reserve, USAFR. So this is in the returns to UFOcasebook.com. Now, do you want to verify that you like UFO Casebook? Is that one we should carry with you're okay with UFO Casebook, or do you know who runs that?
I don't know who runs it.
UFO Casebook.
They got some interesting things on it. Like I said, the Minot case, the actual best documentation is on the website I told you about.
Okay, so repeat that for Teresa right now. Go ahead and repeat that.
Now, what to me is interesting, so I'm doing this scanning now.
Okay.
So this will probably be interesting to you as a historian.
Okay.
So we're doing it by date.
Okay.
So when I label the case file, the first thing is the date, the year, the month, the day.
Right.
Then the location, what continent, country, location, what kind of case it is. We got little abbreviations for that. Witness and investigator. Okay, so I got one like this on my site. It's October 14th, April 14th, 1953.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a real spectacular case, but it's hidden in Blue Book because it's mixed in another case. They're filing. It's atrocious as far as their filing. Things are misfiled. They lost things over the years. Only because Hynek got a lot of this stuff do we know about some of these cases.
Huh.
Anyways, this is a rather spectacular case off of North Japan in 1953. The Korean War isn't over.
Right.
There was an incident similar to that, to this one, about a month prior. That's why this case is misfiled with this thing, with the earlier case, because the intelligence people noticed that it was kind of similar. But it's completely, to a certain extent, it's completely different. Navy plane, after its patrol, is flying back to Japan. They see this UFO on their radar, and this Navy plane is chock full of electronics. So the thing is giving off electronics and everything. So they figure it's something from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And it's big. And they're trying to outrun it back to Japan. And then these smaller things appear on the radar screen, up to about 10 of them.
Wow.
Now, they're flying along, and these smaller things are making passes at them. They're not shooting, but they're very aggressive.
Okay.
So the pilot takes the plane down to 400 feet above the water.
Wow.
And they're going under him. These things are going under. About 70 passes are being made during this thing.
Okay.
I'm going to put me on mute because of the cat.
Okay.
So they're doing this, and this is like something out of the future has suddenly appeared to this Navy plane.
Wow.
Because this is like a AWACS plane, which is, command and control, and also detecting enemies and things like that.
Okay.
But in 1953, it's like 10 or 15 years in the future that this thing exists, especially with the Soviets. It's probably 20 years in the future.
Okay.
And all these planes are making, as far as safety goes, this is completely, unbelievable. So this thing is in there as a UFO report.
Okay.
There's no analysis or anything. It just says it's similar to the first incident, which was not as spectacular as this one. So they make for Japan, and that's, they finally get away.
Okay. So it's an interesting commentary from you, because what you're saying is that when there were other situations that could have been investigated fully, they were not.
Right.
And,
so this is one that the government investigated. So it was my friend wrote this up. I mean, several of us knew this. I think I pointed it out to Brad Sparks. I think that's how he learned about it. Anyways, he wrote it up as an entry for a UFO encyclopedia.
Okay.
And then my friend found on this Korean War veteran site weekly combat reports from the first U.S. Marine Corps Air Wing.
Okay.
So what these guys had was they had, how much, if they engaged things on the ground, what damage they thought they caused, or if they got into fights with the communists, how many planes were shot down, or how many of our planes were damaged. It's typical combat summaries for each week.
Good.
They also had UFO.
Okay.
So this is differentiated from unidentified aircraft. It's actually UFO, so it's differentiated.
Okay.
So if they saw an unidentified aircraft, that was different from a UFO. So here these guys they're reporting stuff from all over Korea, not just their area where the Marines were. So one of the reports is the April 14th, 1953 incident.
Okay.
The same incident that's in the Project Blue Book case files, except it has more or different information. So if you put the two of them together,
what's the story?
The story becomes a little more complicated, but it also refines some of the things in the Project Blue Book case file. So it's a confirmation and amplification.
But
so
it's also it's substantiated, right? I mean, the two reports, it's cross-referencing, substantiates, because it's verification of replicating the results.
Right. Plus it amplifies the report we already had. So that is on my website.
Okay.
Brad Sparks rewrote his article is in the encyclopedia with the new information, and to me that's the kind of thing that I'm doing with this. Well, it's a bonus from scanning this stuff.
Okay.
Because if I come up with a document like this Marine Corps combat thing, and I've already got the Project Blue Book thing scanned, and this one goes in, and it's the same date, they come up right together.
Yes. Huh. That is the scientist inside of you who is really good at documenting, verifying, and clarifying your results. Really interesting work. I mean, really interesting work. So, thanks for sharing that story. That's really a good story. So talk to me now. I hope you kind of get a breath or another cough drop. Talk to me about what you think was one of the most challenging stories for you to be involved in personally, whether it was challenging for evidence or it was challenging for believability, or it was just simply challenging because you knew it was true but you didn't know what to do in order to substantiate the evidence. Talk to me about a story that was difficult for you, that you really believed but was difficult.
We're at the end of the archiving time, so what about tomorrow night? We got 2 minutes. So
so why don't we talk about actual history?
Okay.
Like I followed things through the years, and people in ufology don't understand how things came about. And I've looked at the documents to figure out how they came about, and I was fortunate enough to find a number of documents where I can really amplify the history of what was being done to investigate these things by the government.
Good. You know what? I really enjoy your conversation. I mean, I don't want you to think I'm sitting here flattering you, but I really, really feel your conversation. I really feel your emotions, and I share your joy with you. It is for me, it's an amazing conversation. It's virgin material for me, and I would enjoy talking further with you. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, good. Yay. Okay, thank you very much. All right, Teresa.
Yeah, we're doing tomorrow night, Ace Folklife. Have we got other people scheduled, or would you like to invite him for one of the hours? Or he's a historian as well, not just UFOs, but other things.
Well, so Jan, is an hour enough time tomorrow for us to get into the next part of your story you'd like to document?
Sure, I think so.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, really good. All right, that's perfect.
Okay.
And all right, thank you very much. That's absolutely fabulous.
Well, do you have people coming? Do you have people coming tomorrow at a certain time? Would he be the first hour or the second hour? And are you starting 8 California time? What time are you starting?
I can start at whatever. Can we take this conversation off air, Teresa? And
I've got it already up for tomorrow.
What time?
Jan, it was 8 Eastern, I believe.
Right.
So
right.
8 Eastern. But if you want to come the first hour, maybe, or it's 8 to 10 is her time because she starts at 6 California.
Okay. So do you have my number and everything? Can you give her my number?
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to her.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll be on this station in this archive for the ACO. We're trying to save money on all these SSL certificates on all our domains, so we're trying to combine databases, but right now we're just going to use this archive for oral archives for Ace Folklife tomorrow night, 8 to 10. That's 7 my time, 6 Suzanne's. But that'll be 8 o'clock your time tomorrow, and she's got 2 or 3 people will introduce, and they'll tell their stories, and we'll ask you for